Welcome to Just Love Live. I am your new host, Beatriz Diaz Taveras, the Executive Director of Catholic Charities Community Services, a role I have had the honor of serving for more than 15 years. Thank you for tuning in to our monthly show where we will discuss major issues and challenges that are faced by everyday New Yorkers, from housing and food insufficiency to transportation and public safety. We will also discuss how Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of New York and its partners within the greater human services community are responding to these needs and providing help to the most vulnerable among us. The month of March celebrates women, our accomplishments, as well as our challenges. In this episode, we will discuss the programs offered by Catholic Guardian Services Parent Resource Center and Grace Institute Holistic Approach in Skills Training and Retraining for Women of Color and Newly Arrived Immigrant Women. Please welcome our first guest, Rebecca Ramos, Senior Director of the Family Support Services for Catholic Guardian Services. She has been with Catholic Guardian Services for the past 4 years. Under her leadership, she has been part of implementing the Family Enrichment Center and family violence prevention programs. Welcome, Rebecca, to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Catholic Guardian Services provides many programs that strengthen children and families. Talk to us about those programs.
So currently, Catholic Guardian has 5 what we call prevention programs, and we're actually in the development of a 6th one. Our programs are both in Bronx and Manhattan, and all of our programs, the main goal is to educate and empower families and prevent neglect and abuse of children. We have 2 programs that are under administration for Children's Services. Those are home visiting programs. Our workers go in, they provide family counseling, casework counseling. They refer out to communities for other services that the families may need. We also have a Healthy Families program in the Bronx, and that is a program geared towards children birth to 5, and that's another home visiting program. And the home visitors work around a curriculum regarding child development. So what they do is they go in and they work with the caregivers to educate them, really to show them what the developmental stages are so that they can understand them, know what to look for in regard to is their child meeting those milestones. And also the home visitors engage the parents and teach them how to engage their children during each developmental stage. So that way the children can be nurtured, educated, and also it helps the parents with the bonding with the children. We also have a parenting resource center, which provides an educational support courses to expectant moms and moms who just delivered babies. And then our 5th program, which is really exciting, is our family enrichment program. That's going to be in the Bronx, and it's exciting because it's really unique. So it's unique in that it's different than anything we've ever done. The majority of our programs were kind of, for lack of a better word, we're restricted in the sense of the guidelines that are provided to us by funders, et cetera. But this one is so different in that Catholic Guardian will oversee the center, but the center is actually run by the community. So the community has the last say for everything, from the naming of the center to the decorating of it and all the offerings that are going to come out of it. So we're really excited and hoping to have our grand opening around July.
In July, nice, thank you. So I was reading up on the Parent Resource Center, and one of your clients wrote that she felt so touched because you actually offered her a baby shower, and she knew that was the only baby shower. So tell me a little bit more about the Parent Resource Center.
So Parenting Resource Center, it's a really special program. So Parenting Resource Center, again, it's geared towards moms who are expectant or who have just delivered. The courses that are offered for that program are Safe Sleep, toxic health, women's well-being, and breastfeeding. And like you mentioned, for some of our moms, they don't have a baby shower. So at the end of the program, what we do is we do a community baby shower. Everybody gets gifts and everybody walks away with a crib that has everything they need in it. And it's just a really nice celebration. The moms really love it. The courses that are offered, it's not required that the women have to take every course, but usually what happens is they really enjoy what they're learning. They enjoy that they're bonding with other women that are going through similar experiences. And what happens is you wind up seeing these women develop relationships, and they start coming back and want to come to all of the courses. Mm-hmm. So it's a really nice thing to see. They come with the babies. For those who have just given birth or they have little ones at home, the kids come with them. We provide meals, we provide Metro cards for them to get back and forth. And a lot of times there's other like little incentives when they're coming to each of the courses.
So safe sleep, so you know, when I had my children many, many years ago, it was so different. So what's a safe sleep now?
Right, so safe sleep, I feel like over the years it always changes, right? So now what they're calling it is the ABCs of safe sleep. So ABCs is alone and on their back in their crib, right? So that's part of the class that's teaching parents, because again, it changes all the time. Some parents, you know, some moms, they're putting the babies in the cribs with a little stuffed animal, a little toy, you know, the blankets, and they're big and loose. So they're teaching them what's the risk of doing all those things when you're putting the baby in the crib that way.
And you mentioned that the women form community as they're attending the class. What other outcomes have we seen for these women and these young mothers?
So, I mean, they develop their own individual relationships that they take outside of the course, right? Because the courses are limited. And then they become kind of a resource for each other, which is a beautiful thing, because a lot of the moms that come to us, some of them are very isolated. The women that we serve they come from backgrounds and neighborhoods that are marginalized. We serve a large non-document immigrant community, and they can often feel isolated. So when they come to our program and they develop those relationships, you know, it's another source of support for them that they can take once they leave, and they have that for as long as they need. Mm-hmm. So that's also another wonderful thing to see about the program.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the breastfeeding program. Do you have like lactation specialists who help the mothers? Because I know that's a hurdle for many young mothers.
Yes, so our breastfeeding program, which now we have a licensed, the person who's running the program now is certified by the state. That's something that's new. So she's certified, she runs the program, and so she touches everything on breastfeeding, right? So it's how to properly breastfeed, if you run into situations with difficulties, right? Because some babies won't latch, and some moms will get discouraged, won't try it, you know, the baby doesn't want, or if moms are not making enough milk. So they work around all those things, right? So they're teaching them kind of like the 101. They're teaching them, if you run into situations, how to resolve it. And it's been very successful.
How do you measure the success of the programs?
Oh, so especially for Parenting Resource Center, so all of our programs have kind of metrics, right, that we use. For Parenting Resource Center, we use knowledge-based surveys, right? So they like pre-surveys and posts to kind of see what folks learned from the course. And, you know, in addition to that, I think when I think of success for Parenting Resource Center, like I mentioned earlier, the moms, when they come and register for programs, they don't have to take every program, but the knowledge that they gain, they feel is so needed that they continue to come back for all of the programs. And not only that, but we see that a lot of times they wind up referring their friends and families to come to the program. So I think that's very successful, right? That says something about what the staff is doing with those women. And the other thing that we see, which is really nice, is that they bring the babies back. So for the moms who, you know, haven't given birth yet at the end of the program, they feel so appreciative of what they've learned and been given from the program that when the babies are born, they bring them back. And the staff loves that. And then even some of them bring them back, like, oh, when they're turning 1, and, you know, or send a little note like, and you may not remember, but look, she's grown up and she's starting kindergarten. So those are the kind of things too that we look at and we think like we made an impact, right? We were successful.
So you mentioned the Family Enrichment Center. Where is it going to be located? And I know you're getting ready for your grand opening, so.
So the Family Enrichment Center is going to be located in Community District 5 in the Bronx. So that's the Fordham and University Heights area. We're actually in negotiations right now with a landlord, so fingers crossed that we get the space. But even before we get the space, we're starting to provide offerings. We're collaborating with community-based organizations, with schools, with churches that are also within CB5 to start getting our name out. And actually, we're going to be working with potentially, we were connected by Council Member Sanchez's office to a school in the Bronx. And we're potentially having our first offering on March 5th, which is going to be it's called Cocoa and Conversation. And we'll be meeting with about 20 parents from the school, you know, letting them know who we are, we're coming, do you want to get involved, what do you want to see in the center? And also we have tons of toddler pajamas that we're going to be giving out that day.
Oh, very good. So how can viewers reach out to Catholic Guardian Services?
So, excuse me, viewers can actually just reach out to me via email at rebeccaramos@catholicguardian.org, and I could connect them to any of my programs. I could connect them to any of the other programs within Catholic Guardian. That would be the easiest way.
Thank you, Rebecca, for being with us today and sharing all the wonderful services of Catholic Guardian Services. I really look forward to the Family Enrichment Center. Hopefully you'll invite me to your opening. So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with our second guest. Thank you. Welcome back. Our next guest today is Carolyn Susty. Carolyn began her career as an intern at Grace Institute while she was pursuing her MSW. And she now works directly with women that have faced challenges and have turned to Grace Institute, its programming, to transform their lives and the lives of their families. Carolyn and her team encourage and inspire these women to realize their true potential and renew versions of themselves. So, Carolyn, I know you started as an intern while you were getting your Master's of Social Work degree. What made you want to stay at Grace Institute and continue working with them?
I love the mission of Grace Institute, which is to move women forward. So when I chose Grace Institute as my internship site, I knew that I was going to do something that I love to do. I love encouraging and supporting women and helping them to see their true potential.
Oh, so tell me a little bit about the programs at Grace Institute and what does Grace Institute really provide?
Grace Institute currently has 2 programs. Office Administration Training and Healthcare Administration Training. We cater for women between the ages of 18 and 64 years old, women of New York, the state of New York, that are unemployed and underemployed.
And what kind of training exactly goes into like the healthcare training or the office administrator training?
Well, within those 2 programs, they learn the skills necessary to have at least entry-level positions when they graduate from Grace Institute. So they learn Microsoft Word, Excel, etc.
And et cetera, and they learn how to work in an office. So at Catholic Charities, in our staff, we actually have had several Grace Institute graduates working with us. And I do know that there are two in particular that I work very closely with. So that is great. I know that Grace Institute has always been a champion of women of color. What do you see women who are coming into your programs? What needs do they bring, and how are you able to help them?
Well, women that come into our program have several needs. They could range from inadequate childcare, not having secure housing. They can have little familial support, not having that encouragement or support from family members or friends. And we are just there to be their champions, to be their cheerleaders, to ensure their success in the program.
What other services? Are there other holistic services that you see that the women need? And how are you able to address those services?
Absolutely. So the women get training for the first 10 weeks of a 14-week program. The remaining 4 weeks is when they will have the wraparound services with our talent services team, which would be the team that would help them to have job placement. So while they're there, they have the training. There's also mock interviewing, which is an excellent way of simulating what is to be expected when they are in front of a prospective interviewer. So women become comfortable talking about themselves, talking about their skills, their experiences, etc. So this is a weekly session that they engage in. We also have a laptop loaner program for some women who come in and they may not have a device to attend classes or to complete homework assignments. So once a woman indicates that she does not have a laptop, we loan that laptop to her for the duration of the program and sometimes even beyond. We also alleviate some burdens for the women by issuing them Metro cards where they can go to and from on the days that there's in-person training. In addition to that, we have partnered with 2 agencies that outfit our women with clothing to attend interviews. So it alleviates some of the pressure from the women because a lot of times they're not employed and to find money where there's none to buy clothing to attend interviews. So that is a great aspect of it. In addition to that, we have a weekly session called A Moment of Grace, and it's exactly how it sounds. It's a safe space for the women to come together to talk about challenges and issues that affect them. But every week there's a different topic, and every topic gears the women to what their end goal is, and that is employment.
Our previous guest mentioned that the women form community as they're going through their programs. Is that also something that you see developing during those sessions with the women who are in the courses?
Absolutely. So Grace Institute is known for its sisterhood. Once you are a Grace Institute attendee, we just don't cut you off. You come in, you form a sisterhood, and that sisterhood lasts even beyond the training. So women come in, they're in the same boat, they have similar issues, and they learn to lean on each other, to support each other, to encourage each other, and that's a wonderful thing.
Oh, so you have like an alumni gathering?
Yes,
oh, tell me a little bit about that.
We have a great alumni group and they meet once a month. There is something called Mindset Mondays that one of our women from the Talent Services team, she facilitates. And the women just gather, they talk about employment, they encourage each other, they support each other, they share information, and it's amazing.
What do you find is the most important issue that the women in your programs are facing?
There are a couple. There could be food insecurity. If someone is hungry, it's hard for them to concentrate. There's housing issues. Some women are insecure housing and some are not. And there is also a lack of support for some of our women. And so they come in and they find that support, they feel heard, they feel seen, they feel welcome, they feel motivated to continue.
Interesting. Is there like a success story that you could share with us, any one of your clients? So you don't have to mention them by name, but just did you see such a turnaround in one of them?
Yes, there are many success stories that I can think of, but one in particular is one woman, one young woman, she came in and she lacked the motivation. She wanted to do it, but she lacked the motivation. Halfway through, she wanted to give up. So I got on her. I did weekly check-ins with her, encouraging her constantly, checking in to make sure she was getting her assignments done. She was attending her classes. She recently graduated in December of 2023, and she was offered a great position at a job, and she's employed.
Excellent.
Yes.
So, oh, that is excellent. So you found that call, that weekly check-in with her was very instrumental in keeping her engaged with the program.
Absolutely. When women know that you genuinely care about them and about their success, it gives them that drive, that motivation, that zeal to keep going forward.
So tell me, what are some of the companies that you work with for the job placements? Where do the women wind up in jobs, either on the healthcare or on the office administrator?
So after the 10 weeks of training, there is the talent services team that would work with the women to have them placed in jobs. So some of their partners include JP Morgan, Citibank, TD Bank, Borough of Manhattan Community College, etc.
Oh, excellent. And on the healthcare, they
can go to New York Presbyterian, there's Mount Sinai, there's Columbia University Medical Center, there's New York Health and Hospitals.
So as you continue, what other programs do you think you would like to bring to Grace Institute? Or is there something that you're dreaming of that you would love to be able to expand to?
Well, when Grace Institute started at its inception, which was about 127 years ago, the goal was to have immigrant women that came into the country, specifically to New York, to learn the skills necessary. So we have evolved from sewing, bookkeeping, to now healthcare administration and office administration. If we're going to go green in the future, that would be something to consider.
Oh,
yes.
Excellent. Tell me a little bit about your own story.
My own story. I love helping people. I think it's part of my mission. And as I got older, I enjoyed it. I loved it more. I'm involved in my local church. So I have a lot of experience being of assistance to others that are in need, just being that positive voice for them, because a lot of times people don't have that support, someone who can speak positive words to them, affirm them in some way, encourage them, hug them, smile with them, tell them you've got this, you can do it. So just being able to do that is fulfilling to me.
Oh, very nice. So as I think through, you said Grace Institute has been around for how many years?
Approximately 127.
127
Yes.
years. Oh my. And where is it located now, and how can women access your programs if they want to? And what are some of the requirements that are needed? Because I imagine there are some requirements in order to be able to attend Grace Institute.
Absolutely. So we're located at 40 Rector Street in Manhattan on the 14th floor. Some of the requirements include the women should have a resume. There's resume building, so you don't have to worry. You come into the institute, you get accepted, you don't have to worry. We have professionals that would help you build your resume, leverage LinkedIn, etc. So having a resume, having a GED or a high school diploma, having a New York ID, and having being vaccinated. Those are the current requirements.
And I also imagine the women have to speak English or have a good grasp of the English language.
Absolutely. That would be very helpful, even though we have an immigrant population there. For some of the women, English is their second language, so they would attend ESL classes and then they would attend Grace.
Oh,
yes.
Good. What other gems of knowledge would you like to share with us about Grace Institute?
Great, and I'm not saying this because I work there, but Grace Institute is an amazing organization. If any woman is thinking of restarting her career or even starting her career, let Grace Institute be your #1 choice. That is what I would say. You wouldn't regret coming there. We have excellent instructors. We have an amazing team of people that are just there to support the women, cheer them on, and help them to get situated, help them to become financially stable and self-sufficient. Now, anyone who wants to enter the program, they can get more information by simply sending an email to admissions@graceinstitute.org. That is admissions@graceinstitute.org, or they can call 646-290-5591.
Repeat that number again.
Yes, 646-290-5591.
Oh, thank you so much, Carolyn, for sharing with us the information on Grace Institute. This has been a very informational time. And I do want to thank our guests for sharing their great work that they do to inspire, empower, and assist women of color achieve their personal and professional goals. Catholic Charities provides help and creates hope to those in need year-round. Please consider getting involved by volunteering, donating, or contacting us if you need support. Thank you once again for watching, and tune in next month.